Welcome back to Sir Boats Yacht, where we explore boats from the luxurious to the legendary. Today, we're heading into the heart of Eastern Europe to talk about a boat that's modest in size but massive in legacy. Meet the Kazanka-5M, one of the most iconic small boats ever produced in the Soviet Union and a symbol of rugged, do-it-yourself boating culture. Let's set the stage. The Soviet Union, post-World War II, was entering a period of rapid industrial development. There was a growing need for personal watercraft, something affordable, reliable, and suited to Russia's vast network of rivers, lakes, and reservoirs. In 1955, the first Kazanka boat rolled out of the Gorbanov airplane factory in Kazan. Yes, you heard that right, an aircraft plant. Originally, Kazanka boats were built using aircraft-grade aluminum and manufacturing techniques derived directly from aviation. This gave them two distinct advantages. They were lightweight and incredibly durable. Designed to handle the harsh, cold Russian climate, the Kazanka quickly became the everyman's boat. Now, fast forward a couple of decades to the mid-70s. After several iterations, the Kazanka-5M was introduced. It didn't reinvent the formula, it refined it. This version kept the riveted aluminum hull, the low weight, and the utilitarian design. But it offered slightly improved seaworthiness, a more comfortable layout, and better compatibility with modern outboard motors. Let's talk specs. The Kazanka-5M measures in at about 4.5 meters in length, with a beam of roughly 1.6 meters. It weighs just a little over 120 kilograms. Light enough for two people to lift and launch it manually, and certainly light enough to be towed by just about any car with a trailer hitch. It's rated to carry up to 4 adults safely, though you'll often see these boats loaded up with fishing gear, coolers, and the occasional dog. The hull is made entirely from riveted aluminum sheets. It's not flashy, but it's resilient. You can bump it against rocks, scrape it along riverbeds, and it'll keep going. It doesn't require a lot of maintenance either, just basic care to keep the rivets tight and the metal clean. Some owners reinforce the rivets with epoxy or marine sealant, just to be extra safe. Now let's talk power. Most Kazanka-5Ms are paired with small outboard motors, anywhere from 10 to 30 horsepower, though 25 seems to be the sweet spot for getting decent speed without stressing the hull. With a 25 horsepower engine, you can expect to cruise at around 25 to 30 kilometers per hour, depending on load and water conditions. Not exactly blazing fast, but more than enough for casual cruising, fishing, or hopping from one riverbank to the next. The fuel consumption is another major win. These boats are extremely fuel efficient, thanks to their lightweight and streamlined shape. You can spend hours on the water and barely dent your fuel tank, which is great for long days on remote waterways where refueling might be an issue. Now let's talk about the layout. The interior of the Kazanka-5M is Spartan, to put it nicely. You won't find plush seating, cup holders, or sound systems here. What you will find is space. There's a bench in the center, a small flat deck at the bow, and plenty of room for customization. And that's part of the charm. People make these boats their own. Some owners build small cabins on the front. Others install raised decks, fishing rod holders, or even live wells for keeping their catch fresh. Some folks turn them into mini houseboats for weekend trips. The simplicity of the design makes it a blank canvas for DIYers. Now, let's get into handling. The Kazanka-5M is surprisingly stable for such a light boat. The flat-bottomed hull allows it to glide smoothly over calm water, and the aluminum build gives it just enough flexibility to absorb small waves without a jarring ride. However, it's not really meant for open sea or rough conditions. It's a river and lake boat, through and through. Get caught in a choppy storm, and you'll feel every bump. Steering is done via a tiller or remote outboard controls, depending on how you set it up. Most purists prefer the tiller. It's simple, direct, and gives you a real feel for the boat. But if you're doing longer trips or carrying passengers, a side console with a steering wheel is a popular upgrade. One of the Kazanka's greatest assets is its launchability. Because it's so light, you can launch it from almost anywhere. A slipway, a sandy bank, even a couple of logs rolled into the water. That flexibility is especially valuable in regions without formal marina infrastructure, which, during the Soviet years, was basically everywhere. Let's take a quick detour into culture. The Kazanka-5M wasn't just a utility boat, It was a social object. Owning one was a source of pride. It meant you had access to nature, to adventure, to escape. People would load them up with camping gear, beer, and guitars, and head out for days on the water. It was a way of life. In fact, there's a whole generation of Russians who associate childhood memories with these boats, fishing with their father at dawn, swimming off the side during hot summers, and hauling home the day's catch. It's like the Eastern European equivalent of the John boat in the US, only with more rivets and a colder climate. And these boats have staying power. Many of the original Kazanka-5Ms built in the 70s and 80s are still in use today. Owners restore them, reinforce them, repaint them, and repower them. There's a healthy market for second-hand Kazankas, and if you look around boat forums in Russia or Ukraine, you'll find people swapping stories, blueprints, and customizations. It's almost like a cult following. So, is the Kazanka-5M right for you? If you're looking for speed, luxury, or high-tech features, probably not. But if you want something reliable, affordable, and steeped in boating history, it's a solid choice. You can find one for a few $100s in decent condition, and with a little elbow grease, turn it into your go-to weekend cruiser. It's also a great option for beginner boaters. It's forgiving, easy to handle, and simple to fix. And because it's so lightweight, it won't punish you for rookie trailer mistakes or shallow water misjudgments. Plus, there's a certain charm to cruising in a boat that's older than you are and still doing its job better than some modern plastic hulls. Let's wrap it up. The Kazanka-5M isn't flashy. It won't win design awards. But it's honest, it's tough, and it's earned its place in the Boating Hall of Fame, especially in countries where it shaped decades of maritime tradition. It's a reminder that sometimes, less is more. You don't need fiberglass finishes, touchscreen controls, or chrome fittings to enjoy the water. All you need is a floating tin can with a motor on the back, a couple of good friends, and maybe a fishing rod or two. Thanks for tuning in to Sir Boats Yacht. If you've ever owned, ridden in, or dreamed of having a Kazanka, drop a comment below. We want to hear your stories. And if you enjoy deep dives into boats with character, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We've got plenty more maritime icons to explore. Until next time, stay curious, stay floating, and as always, stay buoyant.